says I'm live already. Okay, so I'm doing this a little bit differently today because I didn't end up getting an episode recorded when I needed to. And so I ran out of time. So I'm going to we'll try this. So there'll be no editing until later on, maybe later in the week. I'll re-upload after editing the video. But here we are. I'm going to put some lipstick on if I can find it. Oh, I just don't really have energy today. And also, I didn't let anybody know that I was going live. Hopefully you guys can hear me as well. Maybe that's something I'll have to look at for the end of the podcast. Okay, anyway, so we'll get started properly. I'll do my introduction. Oh, hello. I'm going to try to interact as much. This is the first live I have ever done, so thank you so much for joining me. Okay, so my name is Claudia, and I'm the hostess of Crochet, as you well know, and I live in Alberta, and I love to crochet. So oh goodness, this is actually very awkward to do without like editing. So I'm going to be all over the place. I apologize. That's the beauty, I think, of being able to edit your videos is that you can have that opportunity to go all over the place, and then you edit that weird stuff out and put it back in the proper sequence. So, oh my goodness. Okay. So today I'm going to start with things that I'm working on, and I unfortunately don't have any finished items to show you this week. So here we go. I am drinking tea today out of my poor cup that is like losing the shape. No, not the shape. What is this? Like the sticker that's on it. Chai tea latte is what I love. Okay, here's the first thing that I didn't show you this last week, but I decided to make myself a little cardigan. So I'm not finished it yet. I made myself some buttonholes, and it's going to have a string closure instead of buttons because as you can see, there's holes on both sides of the front. So it'll have like a crisscross thing. I guess I could actually even wear it the other way too, like this, and then crisscross it at the back. But the plan is to wear it crisscross at the front. I just bought this really pretty new dress from Winners this week, and it's kind of like a dark mustard color, and I really like it. Thank you so much, Jess. Sorry, there's a delay in like what I am reading and then coming back to this. Anyhow, really pretty mustard color, but it's sleeveless. So I just feel like sometimes I want to have a little bit of something. So I got started on this, and I really like a cap sleeve personally. Put this up here like this there. So I could almost leave it like that, but I think I'm going to put a little bit of a longer sleeve on this one because I wanted it to be like vintage adjacent. So it has a little bit longer of a ribbed bottom than I usually do. I'll usually only do about that much, but I wanted a little bit more. And then I would like to mirror that in the sleeves as well. The body is made with double crochet, and I'm sorry, the camera quality that I'm using right now is not great. So it's the zooming in is not going to go very well. Hello to all the new people who have joined me. This is my first live. I'm trying to wing it as best as I can here. All right, so the back part here is double crochet, and I did front post double crochet for the ribbing around the top and the bottom. And then the sleeves, I just wanted a tiny bit of detail. So it's supposed to be a V-stitch, but it looks more like a feather stitch. But I like that because I just wanted a little bit of different detailing. So I'm going to add probably about that much more. But again, I'm going to try it on and see how I like it before I finish that. And then, oh yeah, this was something too that you can't really see. It's almost a pleat here, but I decreased so that it fits tight against my body and then comes back up. Thank you very much. Like every episode, even if I edit it, there's dogs barking in it, right? Okay, so there is that. I am using the 2 seconds. My kids are here. What do you guys need? I am doing a live broadcast right now.
Oh, crap.
Okay, bye. So if you want to play something, you have to go in the basement.
Well, we can look on Amazon for penny boards.
What? I don't even know what you're saying to me right now.
Looking for penny boards on the computer.
Oh, yes, you can take the other. Yeah, go ahead. Okay, sorry. Hashtag mom life, am I right? I am not wrong. That's what my son says. Okay. All right. So yeah. So there's, what was I talking about? Oh yes, there's a pleat at the back. Madeline. Thank you. There's a pleat at the back that I tried just to shape it in like this. Oh my gosh, yes. Ugh. I mean, I think if you have anything in your home other than just yourself, it's going to interrupt you because I've had previous episodes where I've tried to record these and I have had the cat jump up on me or the dogs are licking my face and all of that stuff. And like those are days that I am technically home alone. Like the children are at school or my husband's working, all of that. And still something interrupts me or somebody knocks on the door, right? Like I feel like that it's such a good like microcosm of life because there's never a good time to do anything because something always happens. Like it's the weirdest thing. So, hello Trina Lynn. Nice to see you. Thank you so much for joining me today. See, that sounds more like my regular intro. I can hear it now. My intro is not great this morning or today, not this morning. If you guys wouldn't mind, if you feel comfortable, I would love to know where you guys are listening from today. Because that's one thing when you're not live is that it's harder to find that out. Like I can tell what country people are from, but sometimes I like to know like individual like states or whatever. All right. So now that I'm flicking this around here, I have to move some stuff around. All right, so back to the poncho. It is just about finished. This is the back. I was here. Where was I? Right here. Last time that we chatted last week. Was it last week? Yeah, last week. So I got all of that done, which I am pretty proud of myself. But I unfortunately haven't got as much. Michigan. Oh my gosh. I feel like Michigan is like the little brother of Canada because I feel like there's a lot of the jokes that happen in Michigan that like we really caught on to that we're like, oh, that's just like us. And, like with winter and everything. Anywho, yes, I got there and I didn't get as much done this week as I had wanted to, but that is okay. So I don't know, it's just nothing terribly, terribly exciting, really, other than it's bigger than it used to be. I have a stitch marker here so I don't pull out all my threads. And this one is right, I have to talk about the yarn about the other one. Sorry, I'll go back to that. This yarn is the Loops and Threads. It's a perfect pair walk like a man. So it's a combination of green, turquoise, white, and charcoal and brown, which doesn't sound that nice, but it's pretty. I don't know. It's working. This is my last ball, so I'm not too sure how many rows left I'm going to get. Oh, very nice. There is, I want to say, I can't remember. Most of my knowledge now about Michigan is from watching Meat Eater on Netflix. And I know he's not really in Michigan all that often, but I think that Steven Rinella was a Michigan native. I could be completely wrong about that. At least he has lived there at some point. And they were talking about some island that's like kind of between Michigan. I think it's in the middle of the lake, the big lake, that you can only access by boat. And I thought that was really cool. And then I'm curious because I don't know anything about this particular island, that like, how did they decide who owned it back in the day? I'd like to say that like my tastes are varied, but no, I feel like I'm very predictable in terms of like what I like to watch. So, okay, back to this. This is what I have been working on, and the other sweater, little cardigan. And the cardigan is actually, I'll go grab the label super quick. I should have been more prepared. Okay, this is the first time I have ever used this yarn. Oh, it's backwards. So it's Bernat Baby Sport in the color Way. Oh, I might have ripped it. I can't tell you. It's white. I must have ripped it off. I can't read it at all. Oh, yes, baby white. Oh, goodness. It says teeny tiny on the label right there. It calls for a 4mm hook, and I am using a 3.75. That's for the baby one. And for the poncho, I have moved up from a 3.5 hook, and I'm on a 4 just to give it a little bit more drape. Mackinac Island, probably. I think that's what it was. It was like a pretty, like, it wasn't like a little teeny tiny, like itty bitty island. It was a bigger, like I wouldn't say like well populated, but it was still like a noticeable island. Okay, so unfortunately, that's all I have that I'm working on this week. Usually I have like 19 things on the go, but I don't. I didn't work at all on the bag that I showed you guys last week, and I haven't also worked on the chevron blanket. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm really struggling with this live thing. I feel like it's really evident, I guess, like how badly I record videos in the first place and how much editing goes into it. So maybe we'll do a live once a month. I think that would be fun. Okay, and so Trina, if you are still here, because I see that the visitor number is kind of up and down, what is your favorite thing about living in Michigan? And Jess, what is the favorite thing about living where you are living? So I'll speak about where I live. So I live just south of the city of Calgary, Alberta, and that's a funny thing about that. This is going to just be a series of tangents, really, is about. So that's how you can tell if somebody is not from Calgary, is they'll say Calgary because that's how it's spelled. It's the same. There's like the Toronto conundrum that it's the same thing. So people who are from Toronto don't say Toronto, they say Toronto, whereas we say Calgary. So that's how I know. Oh, Philadelphia. Okay. My husband went to this place, oh my gosh, like probably 4 years ago now. And it was called Red Lion. And it was like the cutest looking city I have ever seen. And apparently, from my research, Red Lion was named after the pub there. So I believe it's the pub is called Red Lion. And then the town was named after the pub, but it's not like the Red Lion pub. It's just called the Red Lion, I believe. But I don't even know how big that city is. I don't know anything other than, oh, he went to Pennsylvania. So I apologize. What was I talking about? Oh, yeah, Toronto and Calgary. So yes, I live just south of Calgary. So it snowed like crazy last night. And then this morning, it is nice again, and most of the snow has melted. So where I live, we don't really have spring or autumn. It's decidedly summer and decidedly winter. So right now, it's like up and down, and the weather is really gross a lot, and it's just not the most enjoyable thing. And it's actually really, really hard on livestock. So I grew up on a nature conservancy, and we had access to animals a whole bunch. So when the weather is like, when it goes up and down, it just like allows, sort of the bacteria and the germs and viruses and stuff like to kind of like wake back up. And is in York. Oh, okay. Thank you. That's awesome. All right. So, and people often suffer migraines when it's up and down. Okay. I have a question because where I live, we don't have counties. We have divisions. So I live in one of several foothills divisions, but we don't ever like refer anybody to that. So I wouldn't say that, oh, I live in the foothills division, blah, blah, blah. You can do in nature. Oh, that's awesome, Trina. I feel like in Michigan, you just like learn to deal with the weather, right? And you just have to make do. And you're like, well, I can't stay inside forever. So I feel like, okay, sorry, back to my question about the state. So I feel like that is more, like that's more prevalent. So you say like York County, and I'm assuming that to other people in maybe even not the United States as a whole, but in your state, that like when you say that, that's meaningful, because how I would describe somebody, like let's say that they lived in the country within the same division that I'm in, is I would explain like by the roads how to get there, and the division number would not even come into play whatsoever. So there's that. I'm sorry, I'm losing visitors because I think I'm not talking enough about yarn. I can talk about the other stuff that I have underneath here. Maybe that would be more interesting. Oh yes, I dug this up. Here, we'll talk some more about yarn. It's more fun. People don't want to hear about my questions about the United States. It's because I don't have a passport. I dug this out of the yarn basket that I cleaned up last week because I have a bunch of it, and I have 4 balls, I think, of this, and I don't know what to make with it. So I was testing out a pattern, like just like that noodling stuff that I like to do, where you just put a bunch of stitches all together and then see what comes out of it. So I did that, and I have this little ball left over from that. I was doing that in the carpool line probably 2 weeks ago. I feel like I was doing that a long time ago, but it's such a pretty color, but it doesn't really go with anything, which is weird because you'd think like gray is a neutral. And I feel like this one, and it's not quite photographic. It's beige is much too strong of a word to describe the color with this. But it's got like a yellowish tint to it anyway. So it's not exactly a neutral. Oh, thank you, Jess. I feel like sometimes I feel like a kind of dumb asking these questions. And I have a lot of people actually that have come onto my previous videos and they're like, well, you could just Google that. And I'm like, well, I know I could Google it, but sometimes I like to have the explanation from like somebody's actual mouth to describe, because I can also like stop somebody sort of in the middle of an explanation where it's appropriate. And I can say, oh, like, I also don't understand this little thing. Could you help me out with that? So yeah, like I can Google anything. Anybody could Google anything, but I really like to have the conversations with people about things, particularly about where people live, because if you're a lifelong liver, that's not what resident, you will definitely have a different take than Wikipedia might have about something, right? So I find it much more interesting to have the conversations with people, because you're like, Wikipedia can tell me like about the counties, but then you can, you might have some knowledge that is like really intricate and detailed for the county that you live in. And then, try to go live on Sundays and I ask questions. Okay, questions. Okay, let's have some more questions then. Okay, here's one for the handy people in the audience is, how do you deal with animal hair in your yarn? Because I feel like it is a constant battle. I have 2 cats, or no, I have 1 cat, sorry. I keep saying I have 2 cats, and my other cat passed away like almost 3 years ago now, but I keep saying I have 2 cats. I still miss him deeply. Anyway, I have 2 dogs that shed and a cat that sheds, and my husband has a big red beard. I'm not sure if anybody has like ever looked at his website, but he's on there. So his website is yetidoesthings.com. And we have a picture of him up there so people can see what he looks like. But so I have human hair, I have dog hair, and cat hair. And I've read about this thing called Vamoosh, I think is what it's called, on, oh gosh, someone's cleaning Instagram. And I was wondering if anybody has tried that. But if not, if you have animals, what is something that you do that can combat having hair in everything all the time? Because I've been crocheting for a long time and I still, I don't know what to do with it. Yes. Oh, Jess, that has never even occurred to me. I just have a basket and I get upset because there's always hair in it. Okay, so I have an IKEA bin here. Oh my gosh, a Newfie. Oh, and their hair is like this long. He doesn't shed much. Yeah, my sister-in-law has one, and that was one of the reasons that she got her, was because she doesn't shed very much. I don't know. I just kind of live with it. Like at the end of every project that I have, so I wash it and then I'll usually put it in the dryer for the first one, because that will like beat a lot of the hair off of it, off of whatever it is that's just loose. But I get it like in the fibers. So I have, we call it tweezer time, but I'll watch TV and then I take tweezers and I pull all the hairs out. Brushing them helps. I have one who likes being brushed and one who hates being brushed. So the one who likes being brushed is not the one that needs to be brushed. They're both also husky mixes, so they just like molt their coat all of a sudden, and it's like it's so crazy. Okay, but I think then I'm going to have to be more mindful about when I crochet instead of just be like, oh, it's crochet time. And maybe I'll brush the dogs and vacuum before I get started because it only takes a few minutes to do it, right? That's awesome. Okay, so and given that it is Wednesday, last time I checked, what is everybody working on today, or what are your plans to work on this week? I would love to hear that. I absolutely adore when somebody takes the time out to say like, oh, hey, I'm working on this, even if they feel like it's not exciting for them. Like I really enjoy whip videos from people, like big time. And I really applaud the channels that they have a lot of whips that they are going through and showing, like, oh gosh, what is her name? I'm gonna have to look it up. Nitty Natty, I think that's her name. Hopefully this is still working well. I have quite the setup also today. So I have an antique ashtray stand that I use actually for a cup holder. And I have it stacked with cookbooks so that the camera's at the right area. Subscriptions, there we go. Watch, I probably won't be able to find her channel because I want to see now. That always happens. Yeah, okay. Yes, Nitty Natty. That is, so she knits and crochets and she has tons of stuff that she works on. Oh, that's awesome, Trina. When working with yarn, put it in. Oh, that's an excellent suggestion, Jess. I really like that too because I often take crochet camping with me and it gets like leaves on it and I don't like that. Okay, so Trina, Lynn, I have to ask you what's and I'm probably going to mispronounce it. I'll spell it after so we know what everybody's talking about. The Ruana, Ruana. What is that? I want to make a hat. Oh, that's awesome. Jess, make a hat tutorial for beginners based on my top sellers. Okay, I'm going to keep an eye on that, Jess, because I am looking for, I have a bit of a hat head and I love hats. So I will definitely want to check that out. I'm excited. I hope you post updates on your channel because I'm going to go check that out because that sounds awesome. I'm going to go look at this real quick. Okay. Oh my gosh, that's beautiful. Like the shape of them. I like that shape. Yeah. I had no idea that that's what they were called. Yeah, no, Trina, that's a perfect way to describe it. It's just, yeah, it's like a square blanket poncho. Yeah. I made one of them for my sister-in-law when I think she had just had surgery. My sister-in-law she would be okay if I told you guys this. She has Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. So I feel like she has surgeries, unfortunately, on the regular to just sort of deal with the after effects of that. But I made her a blanket, like a Ruana, to cover herself. Oh, it's my husband now. Hi, I'm live. The kids have had an appearance and now you have as well. What? The kids like came in and were talking to me while like I'm live right now on YouTube.
Oh, I thought for like work or something.
No, I worked through lunch so I could do this. Oh.
Where are our kids?
Upstairs, they're looking at penny boards on the other computer.
They have drinks here.
Thank you. This is my favorite American thing outside of some of the people that I have met. It's Dr. Pepper. Oh, see, now I'm wondering if I should have just recorded this in the basement. A video. Wow, Jess, that is incredible that you want to do that you are doing a video every day in April. I wonder if I got unsubscribed because I feel like I had subscribed to your channel at one point. So I'm gonna have to go look because I feel like YouTube unsubscribes people sometimes. I'm still like, I'm not very well versed in the YouTube, like how everything works with it. Like I understand like Instagram, like I am an invisible person, so I don't get it up in the algorithm very much, but I at least somewhat understand how the algorithm works. But YouTube, I don't 100% understand how it works. Oh, yeah. Okay. There. Okay, Jess. Hopefully that helps you out. I just subscribed, so bump you up, get you some more subscribers too. Beautiful. That's awesome. Oh, something else I would love to know from all of you guys while we're chatting here is what is your favorite, not brand, but do you have a favorite kind of yarn or weight or a material that is your favorite that you like to work with? Because I feel like I'm the acrylic queen and I'm trying to move away from acrylic 4-ply. Oh, so like something like nice and bulky, like, or maybe not necessarily bulky, but like I know what I'm thinking in my head. Like I would say it's a robust yarn, even if it's like small weight. And you're welcome, Jess. I swear though, I feel like I had subscribed to your channel before, so I don't understand. Okay, awesome. Trina. Sorry, I'm looking through some of your live streams and I love that you have a quick live and it was 48 minutes. That sounds like it's so long to me. Okay. I guess I could talk my favorite yarn. Okay, so I feel like my favorite yarns have definitely changed since I have started crocheting. So when I first started crocheting, I absolutely loved this. So this is the Lion Brand Thick and Quick Stuff. So this is a 2-ply. It's like basically a roving yarn, right? But I liked this like size of yarn. So like anything that's like was like really, really, really big because I felt like all of my projects went so much faster. And then I realized they didn't, right? Because you have to buy a quick live can be turning into. I have at maximum, I have about 45 minutes that I can do this in because this is technically my lunch break from work right now because I worked through my 12 to 1 break. So if anybody from my job is watching this, that's what I did. I kept working. I'm just trying to cover my bases here. Yeah, so I used to love like this really thick yarn, but now I find like the sock yarn, I love this size, even though like it hurts my hand. Like don't get because I've showed this many times, but this is how I hold the yarn. Essentially, it hurts my hand. But I like how it feels and I like how it drapes so much better than that. But again, like I used to like exclusively make blankets. Sorry, excuse me. Ew, so sorry. But since making clothes more now, I don't care for the thick puffy clothes because I feel like my clothes are really big on me anyway, and then after that, that makes it worse. And how is everyone doing today? If you're comfortable to answer. Oh, he got me the big one. It's going to keep me up all night. Do you have any non-crafty plans this week? I suppose I could be crocheting while we do this, hey? It would help me get some of this done. Also, I can't get over how much yarn is in this ball. Like, I know I looked at the yardage on this, but I'm just like I feel like I haven't even made a dent in it, and this is almost finished. Worsted 4, but I really like the cotton. Oh, are they, Trina, are those the Karen cotton cakes that you're talking about? Oh, no, sorry. I misread your thing completely. Cotton cakes, Hobie, not I saw that and my brain went to Hobby Lobby for some reason. No, sorry, I understand what you're saying now. And yes, if it, I really like, I believe it's the brand is Sultan, and those I've never actually used them. I just watched the cakes go on sale, and one day I'll order, I promise. But today's not that day. But yeah, like they're stunning, and I absolutely love the color fade on. Hobie has a yarn that's similar to the Landscapes yarn by Lion Brand, and the fades on them are incredible. I like all cakes. Oh my gosh, yeah, I know that. When Karen came out with the Karen cakes, that was like the gateway drug for me. I was like, oh, because I played it really, really safe. I usually only bought white or black yarn, which I don't even know what I was thinking. I don't like black yarn anymore. All laundry. Are you an everyday do it laundry person, or are you a once a week laundry person? I like all the carrot cakes. Well, and eating cakes as well. As long as they're not chocolate. I know it's blasphemy for me to say that. I'm French Canadian, so it's like the thing that we like chocolate, but I don't. I'm the worst. Okay, I'm gonna get suited up here. 2 times a week. Okay. I was trying to, my non-crafty goals this week is that I absolutely have to get running. So I have a 10K that I'm training for at the end of May with my friends. We've done it every year for I don't even know how long, 6 years. What's up, hun?
I thought I had a yellow tape measure, and
I don't know where it is.
Okay.
There's another hashtag, life of a carpenter's wife, is you always have lost tape measures in the house.
Where are you?
Anyway, I got shin splints really badly a while ago, so I took time off to let them heal, and they're feeling a lot better, but I have to get back at it. It's just been, I don't know. It's hard to be motivated when it's like not nice and then it's nice again. Would you like me to hold? I'm doing, so okay, so I'll explain what I'm doing here. So let's keep this on crafty track. I am doing a slip stitch all the way around here to finish the edge up because it helps for my projects anyhow. It helps it not, so you can see it's turning out and it'll help it lay flat and then give a little bit less movement to it. I want it to be a little bit like more firm. So I'm going to do that and then we'll work on the sleeves after. Also, I feel like I had some other stuff that I wanted to do. And this was like several weeks ago. And I'll preface this with I'm a day planner person. And if I don't write the things down, I often forget them. So maybe I don't know. My friends, okay, I got to like back up. I have some people in my life that they tell me that they think that I'm neurodivergent, which that's like somebody who has ADD or ADHD, something like that. Nora, yes, I will probably still be here. Yeah, I'll be here for about 15 more minutes. And no one can explain to me why, but then I keep coming up with these things like I can't remember stuff, and maybe that's it. But no, like I personally can't see why, but obviously I do stuff. And the reason that this has become a conversation in our house is that my husband has ADHD and he's possibly on the ASD spectrum as well, but that is currently unconfirmed, a bit of a gray area. And our son has been diagnosed with ADHD-I. So he doesn't have the hyperactive, he has the inattentive variety. And with studies being shown that it is genetic or hereditary or whatever you would like to call it, we've been trying to figure out where that's come from. So it could come from both of us or it could come from just out of the blue, but we're pretty sure we know where it came from. That's okay. One thing about this yarn that I don't care for is that I find it's very easy to shear, but I don't shear it with the top of the hook. I actually have been shearing it with the bottom. So I'll put it through just fine. And then when I bring it out, it will shear it on the exit. So that's a little bit irritating for me anyway. So yes, for anybody who is joining us a little bit later, I've just been curious if you're comfortable and don't feel obligated to share at all what or where you're from and what your whips are this week if you're working on anything. And how you're doing, all of that stuff. I would love to we'll chit chat a little bit here for my very first live that I have ever done. So I'm going to have to sign off at about, since I've been live for 35 minutes, I have to sign off at about 1:45 my time. So according to my clock, I've got about 15 minutes left, but I feel like that's loads of time for us to chat with one another. Also, if anybody out there who is watching that is a little more YouTube savvy than I am, do you know if, because I haven't uploaded this and because I'm going live, does this still count as I am maintaining my YouTube schedule, or does it count against that? Because I don't know. I was saying earlier that YouTube it's not something that I ever really delved into very much in terms of algorithms. So I don't know a whole lot about YouTube. And I guess like how to stay relevant. But I guess I'm aware with Instagram that no one wants to see me there. It's hard. Instagram has gotten really hard. I liked it back in the olden days. Yay, get to the corner. All right, and then for my corner, I'm just going to do one slip stitch in the back because I don't think there's a way to do more than one slip stitch in the back, but that's okay because I don't need a hard corner like this. A soft corner like that is perfectly fine. There, now we go. Go one along the bottom. And I'd like to say to the people who are on, thank you so much for joining me today. This is the very first live that I've done. I've repeated this like ad nauseum, but I know people are coming and going. But yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for joining me today for this. I really, really appreciate it. It's super awesome that you took some time out of your day to do this with me. And I'm really grateful. So thank you. I'm not sure if I'm going to go live often, but I forced my own hand today. So yes, what are you working on today? I could drone on. I feel like, I don't know. I'm sure there's a topic I could just drone on and on and on about. You'd think it would be crocheting, but I think my theoretical skills, they need some more work. My practical skills are good, but I can't tell you the history of crochet or anything like that. I can tell you crochet means hook. So saying this is a crochet hook means it's a hook. Just like the whole chai tea thing. Chai means tea and tea means tea. So you're saying tea. Here, I can angle this, which if you guys would actually like to see what I'm doing. I know it's not a crochet along with me, but that's okay. I can still see what's going on. It's always weird background. I feel things are going better now. Maybe I should have started my thing later today. Then I would have fewer interruptions. That's okay. C'est la vie. Okay, actually, my recording time is about 40 minutes here. So once I'm finished the end of this, which will probably take me about another 2 minutes, I'm going to give my final thoughts, and then I think we'll be done for the day. But for now, geez. Not single crochet. Oh my goodness, kid. I do this all the time to myself. Or sometimes, I don't know if you guys get like this when you're crocheting, if you don't have to count, is that I get into the physical rhythm of doing these things. And then there'll come a time where I realize that I'm just going on autopilot, and then my brain kind of like tries to make sense of it again. And then I can't like make my body do the right thing. It's so silly. I get like that when I'm driving. Well, actually not exactly, but I'm definitely one of those people that I just like stop, or I don't know how I got home. That's what I'm trying to say. Other than I drove. All right, almost at the end here. So I think this was okay. So this was a good experience, I think, for me to even just wing this. And I know now that winging it was probably not the best choice for me. So I do apologize that it seemed like I was really unprepared, because that is 100% the truth. I'm very unprepared for today's episode. I didn't have anything prepared to talk about. So next time that I do a live, I am going to make sure that I have some talking points and actually plan it out beforehand. Because yeah, I could see why sitting and watching this is not exciting for people. So I apologize for that. And yeah, so that will be that. So yeah, I'll be better prepared for any additional lives that I am doing. Have talking points, because that will be better. All right, just about there. Thank you so much to everybody who shared their comments and their words with me. I really, really appreciate it. And I'm happy that I could have done this today. And yeah, I'm glad for the experience. I'm definitely an experiential person. So I have to learn by doing. Otherwise, it just doesn't go well. Okay. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me today. I've reached the end of the time that I have for this live session. So unfortunately, if you're just tuning in, we're getting shut down for the live session. You can go back and watch this once this is finished. I can't talk today. I'm sorry. All right. Thank you so much for joining me today. And I'm so glad that you guys joined me for the live version. And if you're catching the replay of this, thank you so much for that as well. And I definitely know what to do better for next time that we do this. And yes, that's great. So I would love if you guys could give us a like and a subscribe. I promise my other videos are not like this. I have a bit more preparation. I should say a lot more preparation that goes into them. All right. You guys have a wonderful day. Stay bright, stay beautiful, and follow your vagabond hearts. Bye.